All right. So tonight's show is entitled, The Democratic Party is Officially Unfixable, and I got the receipts. That's because the Democratic Party is unfixable, and because I do have receipts. Yeah, we're gonna really take this one to the house tonight, guys. This is gonna be big. I did a lot of research for this show. I poured my heart and soul into what I'm about to give you guys, what I'm about to deliver to you, and I'm gonna tell you something. The only travesty will be the fact that I can't let more people know about what we're gonna be doing tonight. So I'm gonna make it the responsibility of everybody viewing tonight's show to share this dope. Yeah, it's gonna be on you to make sure the word gets out about this show tonight. Because I'm having one of them coming to Christ type moments, man. I'm having one of those, I done seen something. Not like a UFO, but I done seen something in the distance, man. Like, I had a revelation tonight. You know what I'm saying? I don't mean to get religious on you, but I'm saying though. Look, today as I was preparing for this show, something came over me, man, and I just came up with this humongous idea. And it was because of what I was faced with, right? What I'm dealing with tonight, the content I'm about to deliver to you, it just really knocked me back, man. I don't know if you understand what I'm saying. Like, it's been a couple times in my life where I've had conversations, situations like the one I'm about to describe to you, where you are knee-deep into something, man, and it's something, and while you're doing it, you realize everything's clear all of a sudden. All of a sudden, you get it. You know what I'm saying? All of a sudden, you get it on a level that you just didn't get it before. Something, the lights cut on. The lights cut on the house. All the lights turned on at one time, and it's like, poof. Ha ha! Oh, God. Here we go. And it reminded me why. It reminded me of something of who I was. And it reminded me of why I was. It reminded me of why I'm doing this, why I gotta do this, and why this is so important, folks. It ain't about going through the motions. This ain't no business plan. This ain't about money. This is about movement. And it's about necessity. It's about what's required at this moment for the people. All right? So let me be real specific for y'all. I watched a replay of Representative Jasmine Crockett out of Texas. She was on the Breakfast Club, and she was talking. She was talking the gospel, folks. She was putting it down for President Joe Biden. She was talking. She was doing her best, man. And I want to, first of all, I want to give it up for Jasmine, Representative Jasmine Crockett. Give it up for her, man. I was inspired. I was inspired by her bold, passionate, energetic defense of President Joe Biden and the Democratic Party. I was hypnotized by her words, man. Like, they really spoke to me. You know what I'm saying? Like, her ability to convey her points, the rapid fire of her delivery, it was a thing to witness, man. I want to encourage everybody to go check out Representative Jasmine Crockett and her appearance on the Breakfast Club a couple of days ago. And I'm glad one of you good folks, like say, Tim, please take a look at it, because you were right. You know, as a freshman congressperson, she laid out a clear, unbridled support of Joe Biden like I've never seen before, man. The way she articulated her thoughts about this, man, the way she rolled for Joe Biden and the Democratic Party, the way she represented for black folks, the way she was speaking to black folks, man. Like, you got to understand what I'm saying. Like, America's a very segregated country, right? but we have a lot of things in common. There's a lot of things we share. Hip hop, for instance. It's the language of America, man. It's the dominant genre of America. I would say, the Western world. We share that, man. I don't care who you are, man. There's certain concepts and slangs and terms of talk. I mean, everybody has slang now. Everybody uses basically the same slang. And Jasmine Crockett was wielding that sucker, man. She was out there like Zorro up in this joint, just slicing and dicing up talking points, cutting in half, criticisms of Joe Biden. She was doing her thing, man, and I was amazed by it, man. And once again, I was motivated and inspired by it, man. I know what it is when I'm witnessing something great. You know what I'm saying? When I'm witnessing somebody who has something special, when someone is talented. You know what I'm saying? So, and as the fiery congressperson swatted away questions of Joe Biden's age, pap, get that out of here. Talking about he 82, so what? Pay out. She just smacked down those questions. She blasted questioning Joe Biden's performance as ignorance of the process. You just don't get it, man. You don't understand. Joe Biden's done so much. And while she was talking, man, I imagine I'd have somebody go for bat for me like that, Had somebody hold me down like that, you know what I'm saying, in the public arena. Wow. I don't know how much money you would have to pay somebody for somebody to put it down like she put it down for Joe Biden, man. She kept saying how, and even when she wasn't totally defending Joe Biden, she was putting the onus on black folks. She was saying, look, guys, look at the alternative. Look at the alternative. We got Trump waiting in the wings. This is not time to play around. We got to deal with this. We got to ride with Joe because can't nobody get us what Joe can get us. Can't nobody do for us what Joe Biden can do for us. She was locked in. You know what I'm saying? Crosshairs. Our thoughts, our minds, our vernacular, our culture, locked in on it like a heat-seeking missile. You know what I'm saying? She said, without Biden, we're going to be stuck with Trump. And fascism will overtake the country, and there will be carnage. Hell, there'll be a dictatorship in the White House. You don't want to live under a dictatorship, do you? You should have seen the Breakfast Club boys, man. They was quiet, man. Charlamagne didn't have much to say. You know how witty Charlamagne is. He played devil's advocate as much as he could, pretending to fight back, push back a little bit. Go ahead, girl. You know what it is, congressperson. Envy stumbling out there. Fresh off his lawsuits. He might as well not even showed up. I mean, his pushbacks were so weak, it was like feathers on a buffalo. You know what I'm saying? She said, Donald Trump the fascist, Donald Trump the dictator, Donald Trump a former president staring down the barrel of 91 indictments. How can we not ward off such a catastrophe as Donald Trump? Man. One of her talking points was how Joe Biden gave more to HBCUs than Donald Trump. Yeah, that was one of the main things was like defeating the fallacy that Trump gave all this money to the HBCUs. That was like one of her main talking points. And I'm sitting there and I'm thinking, okay, damn, look at her go. Go, Jasmine Crockett. Now, for the fact this Biden administration, the American Rescue Plan, it delivered a historic $5.8 billion, a cumulative investment. Cumulative, that means when it's all said and done. Not now, not at one time, but it's all said and done, a cumulative investment in the support of HBCU since 2021. This includes $3.7 billion in relief funding from the American Rescue Plan and other pandemic relief. So this wasn't just like HBCUs, I got you. This is also because of the lockdowns, the shutdown, the pandemic relief. That's where this came from. That's what spurred this. 500 million in discretionary grants for HBCUs and other minority-serving institutions. 500, so like, that was the operative word right there, right? It said 500 million in discretionary grants for HBCUs and other minority-serving institutions. So you got to really pay attention. It wasn't just for HBCUs, it's for everybody except white guys. See what I'm saying? Because everybody in America is a minority except for white men. That's sort of how they got us with the whole affirmative action thing. Like for like a minute, like maybe 18 months, they allowed affirmative action to be black people. But then white women got mad. Said, hey, what are we doing letting black men and black women have, just so what they were slaves. So what, they've been free. So what, they're just getting the right to vote 5 years ago. It's 1972. We gave you voting rights in 65. The field's level now. How can we get them affirmative action? And then they made some changes to affirmative action. All of a sudden, affirmative action meant everybody except white men. Look it up. Eskimos, Asians, Latinos, anybody coming from a light, fair-skinned country to America. They make all these, just anybody. So they expanded that. So anyway, that's what the $500 million is for HBCUs and minority-serving institutions. That's the Democratic Party, man. That's how they roll. See, they tell you they got you. When they say you, they don't mean you black folks. They mean everybody. Because, everybody got it bad. Sure, you weren't a enslaved Latino person. You weren't enslaved in America, Asian person. There was no laws against, you reading. But still, you ain't white, so you just as bad off as the black people who we lynched in record numbers and burned down their homes and all this stuff. Anyway, that's not, But Trump did this thing. He gave the Future Act. The Future Act of 2019, which made permanent $255 million in annual funding for minority-serving colleges. Same deal, minority-serving colleges. Yeah, Trump played the same game, which included HBCUs. Wasn't just HBCUs, everybody except white guys. Minority, remember? So once again, like Representative Crockett went on this tear about the HBCUs, and that was like that was the big shot. That was the drone attack. You feel what I'm saying? That was the headshot on all the nonsense that the dumb blacks as rappers and, from Kodak Black to, I don't know, Lil Wayne, Waka Flocka. Well, all these people talking about they support Trump now. You know what I'm saying? All these rappers. Kanye West, Benzino, I don't know. You know what I'm saying? But it was like, there's a bunch of misinformation out there that Trump did so much for HBCUs when really Joe Biden did more. And I say, wow, this is really interesting what Representative Crockett is putting down because, like, she's a lawyer, a civil rights lawyer, right? And she knows her stuff, man. She's been practicing for 14, 15 years. She's licensed in Texas and Arkansas. She ain't know, she looked young, but she's like 44, 43, 40. She in her mid-40s. She's been around. She's been practicing law, man. She know her thing. She knows her stuff. So obviously she would know, she would also know, knowing her stuff, she would know that only about 25% of black people even go to college. But see, That's go to college. Once again, only like 1 out of 4 black people go to college. We didn't even talk about finishing. Only about 35%, 37% of Americans on average go to college and finish. You know what I'm saying? And most reasons why people don't finish is because of money, because they can't afford it, you know? Like my son, he went for a year and a half or 2, and we couldn't pay for it, and he couldn't pay for it, and his grades weren't that great because we didn't have the opportunity to put him in a better performing high school to really prepare him, you know? And he went to an HBCU. I don't want to put my son on the spotlight. I'm just saying, I mean, I'm intimately acquainted with what I'm talking to you about. So when she's saying we got to support Joe Biden, or really good reasons to support Joe Biden was all the money that he gave to HBCUs that Trump didn't give, she's leaving out the fact for most of us, this shit don't mean nothing. That's like you telling me what the temperature was in California, and I live in D.C., dog, and you telling me how sunny it was in California today. Meanwhile, it was 40 degrees in D.C. There was frost on the ground when I walked out today. And you up here telling me how great it is to live in California. It was a beautiful day. And it never rains in sunny LA. And I'm like, you know what? That don't mean nothing to me, because here in the nation's capital in the DMV, bruh, it was cold in a mug. That's how she sounded even talking about this shit to most of the country. Most of the country, and let alone most of the black community. And we're not even going to go there with the fact that her being a lawyer, her being a civil rights attorney, she would know better than I do that. I don't know. The average black professional with a bachelor's degree, I mean, due to redlining, due to the lack of the ability to build wealth, generational wealth, basically sanctioned and signed off by institutional racism that deny black people the ability to like amass wealth. I mean, a chick can't own a car. A chick can't own a stagecoach. You understand that when you property, you don't own shit. And the fact that like 8 generations of black people couldn't obtain wealth, had no personhood. That now the repercussion of that is that the average black person with a bachelor's degree is worth less than the average white dropout of high school, not college. One more time, just so we know, because I know Representative Crockett already knows this. See, the average black college graduate, on paper, and as far as wealth is concerned and what they actually own, what they pass on to the kids, is less than a white high school dropout. Drug addict, loser, gambler problem, name whatever you want to call it. Somebody that said fuck school for whatever reason. Yeah, so when I'm listening to when I'm listening to Representative Jasmine Crockett with her loquacious ability to punctuate Joe Biden's performance with high fives and back slaps and all that shit, I was just thinking, wow, man, she's not telling the whole story. As Democrats continue to insist how much Joe Biden has helped HBCUs, the fact remains many counties or many countries get their citizens free college. Yeah, you know, so like one of the tricks that the Democrats employ is that they keep talking about how great Joe Biden's done more than the Republicans, but they're not even comparing it to the rest of the world. I mean, countries we support, even allies of ours. There are a lot of countries where this might not even be an issue. Right? People talking about the $10,000 off Joe Biden gave people for the college who got Pell Grants or whatever. That's leaving out the fact that if you lived in Austria, Argentina, Brazil, Czech Republic, Denmark, Egypt, Finland, France, Germany, Greece, Iceland, Kenya, Luxembourg, Malaysia, Morocco, Norway, Panama, hold on, Poland, Scotland, Slovenia, Spain, Sweden, Turkey, or even Uruguay, you wouldn't even have to pay to go to college. I mean, obviously, Representative Crockett She accidentally forgot to mention that. Then, yeah, she's talking about these shit parties that we have. She's not talking about, she's glamorizing what Joe Biden did based on comparing it to a party that is totally corporate bought and paid for, but she's not comparing it to the rest of the world, which we reside in, because we are of the world. Like, America's not its own planet. We're our own country, but we ain't our own planet. So other countries on this planet do a far superior job than Joe Biden. I mean, if Joe Biden actually said he wanted to actually help black people who built the country against their will, and if Jasmine Crockett is a spokesmodel or a spokesperson, I should say, she is amazing, though. She could be a spokesmodel. For the black community, she will be not only advocating for Joe Biden, she'll be advocating for us to demand that Joe Biden do more than just throw crumbs at us. You know what I'm saying? Because that's why she's there. She's there to tell black people, come on. She's there on Breakfast Club to tell black people, stop listening to these dummies and vote for Joe Biden, because Joe Biden's the greatest thing we can have, and Democrats are really great compared to Republicans anyway. And that's the way we need to go. And it just boggles my mind if she wasn't talking about how black people need more than that or deserve more than that, because she's supposed to be an advocate for black people, but she sounds like she's an advocate for Joe Biden. It ain't the same thing, because last time I checked, Joe Biden was neither black nor an advocate for black people himself. So I'm trying to figure out, like, was this all intentional? There was also some other kickers, man. One of the other kickers was that Israel, because it's in the news right now, it's everywhere. Israel has free tuition for its students. Yeah, the country that we send billions of dollars to every year, those kids don't have to pay to go to school. We send them our money, and now we're caught up in this war where these people are being slaughtered, and their young people don't have to pay to go to college. You would think an advocate for black people will be pointing this out. I mean, considering we vote for the Democratic Party 95%, like 95% of the, of the time. It's a group, the most loyal voting base. You would think an advocate for the black community who's using all of our culture, using our slang, talking about our culture, our music, and just coming from, on the Breakfast Club. I mean, it's hard to find a blacker media entity than the Breakfast Club. We got a black man and a black Latino dude, black dude, Envy, and a black congressperson. And they talking about black stuff and how black people should support the Democratic Party, and no one's talking about this. All of Israel's 9 universities and some of their colleges are subsidized by their government. And students pay only a small portion of the actual cost of tuition. So it's not totally free, but it's pretty much free. I mean, nobody goes in debt, lives on the street, and no one's dying in Israel with debt on their books from college. Instead of demanding that Democrats or black Americans particularly be allotted free college, considering we're a group of Americans who were denied education by law, you know how many black Americans were lynched, had their tongues cut out their heads because they tried to read? You would think a country with that type of history and a party that supports those people will be fighting for us to get a free education. And you would think a representative from our community that's on a show hosted by people who are pillars or notable people, influencers in our community, would be advocating not for Joe Biden, but for black people to get free college instead of bigging them up about giving us $10,000 all for cutting the HBCUs to minority students a check or whatever. At least make HBCUs free. But that's not what the conversation's about. It wasn't even about making HBCUs free. It was about, wow, we need to stop listening to people that say that Joe Biden need to be held accountable for anything, and Joe Biden's much better, and we need to go with Joe. And we are dumb, we're stupid, we don't know how things work, and we don't get it. My criticism of Joe Biden extends past just Jasmine Crockett. Yeah, she's a problem. She's a problem. But it extends to the entire Democratic Party, man. I hold them all accountable, not just Jasmine Crockett, but she's the focus because she's so amazing. And when you're amazing, how they say it, to whom much is given, much is required. You got all these natural talents, loquacious, incredibly talented, persuasive, charismatic, elected. Got to hold you accountable, sis. It ain't personal. You know what I'm saying? Got to hold your ass accountable, though. We get it from the switch of the Dixiecrats to the Republican Party, and yes, that did happen. Sorry, Candace. From the switch of the Dixiecrats to the Republican Party, the great switch, to the Southern strategy. I know that Black Americans are upset. Black America's up against it. The bottom line is this: after only watching the replay of Jasmine Crockett's mislead, confuse, fool, plead, cape, cap, embellish, fearmonger, and use every other tactic in her arsenal except honesty and forthcomingness, and admit that the Democrats are offering only a small pittance to what they should be offering us. Dog, I was left pissed off, man. Disillusioned. Befuddled. What is going on? He just kept pointing out that, hey, we got to keep out the boogeyman. The boogeyman by the name of Donald Trump. Well, I'm putting the Democratic Party on notice, and I'm putting all the Black America on notice that we have to stand up. All the progressive thinking Black folks. All of the conscious Black folks. All Americans need to wake up, but particularly Black Americans, because Black Americans vote for Democrats like nobody else votes for Democrats. We need some reality check cashing Black Americans to be on notice and on point. It's time we kick the Democratic Party to the curb. Yeah, it's time for them to go, dog. I sound like Randy. Randy on American Idol, man. Yeah, it's time for them to go, dog. That's going to be a no for me, dog. Also, we need to kick out Representative Crockett. I mean, she tripping too if she riding for these guys. But look, the Democratic Party ain't right for us. The Democratic Party don't love us. She lied to us. She doesn't have our backs. She uses us. She's misusing us, confusing us, whether it's Biden promising a $2,000 stimulus check to help them get a majority in the Senate, then they get the majority in the Senate, and all of a sudden the $2,000 turned to $1,200 in the IOU, which you never pay. And then everyone, including our Black advocates, our Black Americans who are within the Democratic Party who are in positions of power or perceived power and authority, they don't even mention it. They don't say a mumbling word. It just drifts away. Some of you now are hearing me bring it up going, oh yeah, I remember that. Remember that? Well, what can you expect of a party that tells its most loyal constituents, if you go out and you vote for us and you put in, give us this majority, we're going to break you off something. And when the time comes and we hold up our end, they don't hold up their end, and then y'all don't even punish them after they don't hold up their end. I mean, come on, dog. Some of y'all right now haven't talked to your cousin or your brother or your sister because they owe you $100. Some of you kicked your kids out the house because they ain't paid rent. And we got a Democratic Party lying to you. And what'd you do? Not a damn thing. You got right back on the horse or the donkey. Like nothing happened. How they gonna respect you in the morning, man? It shows a lack of respect, honor, ethics, but not only Joe Biden, but a lack of ethics by the black faces in high places of the Democratic Party, who moved on as if nothing happened. For this and so many other reasons, dog, we have no obligation, no duty, no childish happy feelings, warm and fuzzies that would lead us to be so stupid as to trust the Democratic Party. Not as far as we could throw them. You know, as Jasmine Crockett, or Representative Jasmine Crockett, was speaking on the Breakfast Club, she spared no level of propaganda. She used every tool in her toolkit of propagandist talking points and culture vulture fixes, all of the translations. You know, every bit of her arsenal. She used it to her ability to convey just how important it was for black people that had any sense to get behind Joe Biden. Almost to the point where if you ain't behind Joe Biden, I'm not going to say you ain't black, but you ain't smart. And you are betraying your people. Because Orange Man is over there. He waiting to come in here. They talk as if the average American isn't already living under a boot of dictatorship. Yeah, they kept on using that point too, like Trump gonna come in here and be a dictator. She said Trump gonna come here and be a dictator. And all I was thinking was, how many of y'all black motherfuckers feel like you got control of your government? We ain't living under a dictatorship now. I mean, this may not be Joe Biden, but it's damn sure the corporations. They don't give a shit about us. Between the corporations, the lobbyists, the think tanks, and special interest groups, they're the ones that run our politicians, not the voters. You know, one of the other talking points that she was talking about HBCUs and the money they got from Joe Biden, Big Daddy, Zaddy Biden. And then she talked about how we don't understand how the process works and how Congress is the one who did all the things that you liked about Trump. So anything that Trump did that he wanted credit for was actually done by Congress. And anything that Joe Biden did that you liked was actually done by Joe Biden. It's weird how that works. So all the good shit, anything you liked that Trump did, no matter what it was, that wasn't him doing it, that was Congress doing it. First Step Act, the zones, opportunity zones, anything you like. The HBCU money that he gave that's going to be on an annual basis, anything he did was actually done by Democrats in Congress. And see, as a defense attorney and as a civil rights attorney and a learned lawyer and attorney for 14 years, Representative Jasmine Crockett, I was befuddled, man. I was astonished that she left out the fact that the majority of policies and legislation that's created in Congress ain't even written by Congress people. Yeah, she's sitting up there selling us on this idea that we don't know what time it is because all these great laws that are written by these legislatures, you know, stop giving those credit to Trump. You got to give it to Congress. But in reality, you got to give it to the lobbyists. You got to give it to the lobbyists and the think tanks that control our legislation. They write our legislation and then they pay Congress people to sign off on it or sponsor it. That's really how it works, ain't it? Isn't that really how it goes, Representative Crockett? Representative Crockett sat up on the Breakfast Club in front of DJ Envy and Charlamagne the God, the notable journalists that they are, and chided black people for not understanding how Congress works, how our legal process works, how the executive office works, and how Congress is the one that creates our bills, when in reality, it's actually think tanks that create our bills. I mean, listen, guys. While there's no definitive answer on how much of Congress legislation is written by special interest groups and other entities, as the sources or origins of many bills are not always transparent or disclosed. However, some studies and investigations have tried to estimate the amount of legislation And the impact of this legislation is model legislation or copycat legislation. So basically what happens is, if it ain't altogether written by an outside entity, they copy it. They stencil it. Remember back in the day, you couldn't draw something, so you put a piece of paper over it, and then you would use your pencil and do like this? That's what they're doing with the legislation. And that's why the legislation, for the most part, serves the corporations and the think tanks and the special interest groups. You know, legislation on things like, I don't know, healthcare, big pharma, big tech, big oil. That's why it's so damn bad for us, because it's so damn good for them. And the Congress people didn't write it. They just need the money to run for office, so they got to sign off on it. If not, those entities just go give their money to somebody else, and then they primary them and they lose their positions. And even after being in Congress only 1 year, I'm sure somebody pulled Jasmine Crockett to the side, the same way they pulled AOC to the side and told them what it is and what it do. Come on. I don't care if you Jim Clyburn, Cory Booker, Elizabeth Warren, somebody told you what that mouth do and what you need to do if you want to keep office. And that is shut up and go along with these bills and sign off, or we primary the hell out you and get rid of you. So it's not all Jasmine Crockett, but since she's sitting up there and she's talking to my people, I mean, remember, her whole purpose of going on the Breakfast Club is to tell black people they need to get in line and vote for Joe Biden. And one of the talking points is that Congress is the one doing all this good shit. Trump didn't do nothing. It was all Congress. And anything that Trump did that you liked was done by Congress. And anything that Joe Biden did that you liked was done by Joe Biden. There was an investigation done by the USA Today. The Arizona Republican and the Center for Public Integrity found that at least 10,000 bills almost entirely copied from model legislation. They were introduced nationwide in the past 8 years, and more than 2,100 of those bills were signed into law. Yeah, I want to be real specific. I want you to walk away knowing a brother did his research. Right? 10,000 bills, almost entirely copied from model legislation created by who? Special interest lobbyists and think tanks. 10,000. And 2,100 of those became law. So much for Representative Jasmine Crockett went, you better thank Congress, because Congress wrote those. I mean, you don't really think Marjorie Taylor Greene's writing. Come on, man. I mean, think about it. You think Marjorie Taylor Greene actually knows how to write a fucking bill? Huh? You think AOC was waiting tables. What the fuck she know about writing bills, man? I mean, at least Jasmine Crockett is a lawyer. What was Lauren Boebert doing? Giving lap dances? What makes you think she know how to write legislation? 1 potato, 2 potato, 3 potato, 4 potato. Come on, man. Once again, remember, Representative Jasmine Crockett sat on a black station with black guests talking to a black audience about what black people need to do. She was just on Amanda Seales show saying how dumb we are because we listen to black rappers, and here we got a black congressperson rapping to us, lying to us, caping for Joe Biden, telling us all types of whoppers and leaving out exactly how the sausage is made. And I know people don't like knowing how the sausage is made because they know it, will make you sick. But I mean, if you're gonna be chiding people, telling people they don't know what the fuck is going on, don't you have a duty to keep it 100? I mean, sure, you have to tell people we don't write this shit either. Don't thank Trump. Don't thank Biden. Thank your local lobbyist. when you be obligated to keep it 100? You know what I'm saying? I mean, some of y'all watching, if I lied to you, you'd be mad as shit. You never support. Some of you don't support now. But I'm saying the ones that do would stop supporting me if you disagree with my content. But this congressperson could lie her ass off in front of the whole world and tell black people how dumb they are because they don't get it. And she'll still get reelected. Hell, her name's getting bigger than ever. But isn't she obligated to keep it 100? And isn't Charlamagne smart enough to know this process? You think I have a crack team of fact finders working for me, the Tim Black Show? Hell no, I don't get that type of funding. I'm a black man who's an independent who ain't carrying no water for the Democrats or Republicans. It's just me, dog. Me and Google. But I was able to find this information and present it to you. You don't think DJ Envy knows how to use Google? He sure knows how to do Real Estate Finder. He knows how to use Backpage or whatever he did to find that dude that hustled those people out of their money. And they'll still be famous tomorrow, and I'll still be basically unknown. But that's okay. I'm telling the truth tonight. I'm telling the truth because I fucking love you, and I love us, and we got to make some changes. We have to make some changes. The investigation used a computer algorithm to compare thousands of bills with identical phrases. You know, just like if ChatGPT wrote your shit, they could put it through a blender, figure out, based on the structure of the sentences, if you wrote it or if ChatGPT wrote it. They could do the same thing with bills, and that's what they determined. The investigation also revealed that model legislation has influenced policies on a wide range of issues, such as abortion, gun control, taxes, health care, consumer protection, often advancing the agenda of corporations, industry groups, and think tanks. Facts. It's just facts, y'all. That's all it is, just facts. It's nothing personal. So Jasmine Crockett lied to you. She's been lying. And it's not just her. She's a first-year congressperson. She lying already like a rug, leaving out the most important elements of her argument, which are directly opposite of what she's talking. There's another study by the Center for American Progress, which itself is a think tank. But they admit, they say, hey, they estimate that more than 10,000 lobbyists work in D.C. It outnumbers the numbers of members of Congress by nearly 19-1. So we got more lobbyists than Congress people. And they're always knocking on the door with gifts. The study also found that lobbyists spend billions of dollars each year to influence public policy. And it's all legal. So just like most Americans, to Jasmine Crockett's point, to her credit, most Americans don't know how bills are passed or who gets credit or who did what and that the president just signed off on shit and that he does not create laws. But they also probably don't know that lobbyists create congresspeople. They probably also don't know that those lobbyists spent billions of dollars paying those congresspeople to lie like a rug, to go along. How else do you end up with such horrible policies that don't benefit us? How'd that happen? Many of those have close ties to lawmakers, staff, and committees. The study argued that lobbying poses a threat to democracy and good governance. It called for reforms to increase transparency, accountability, and public participation. Or at least for our congresspeople when they go on black media to not lie to black people. And then for that black media to not just let them do it. But it's a rookie mistake. The insulting business practices of the Democratic Party. It leaves anyone with common sense, particularly black Americans, who are the most loyal voting bloc the Democrats ever had. So leave them with heartburn, the bubble guts, projectile vomiting after considering just the amount of bullshit they're feeding us. Is they used in this case, a spirited, intelligent, charismatic, loquacious black woman, talented and skilled in the vernacular of black American culture to lure us into the Democratic palm. It shows the level of dirty dog dealings the Democrats will stoop to get their way. As I poured over the comment section reading the complaints, or I should say the comments, as I poured over the comment section reading the comments of the people that were viewing the show, I was in the comment section on YouTube. And as I saw all the "you go girls," "you tell them," "I know that's right," I could only hope that those were bots. Bots being used to create some type of social currency to kind of influence the people who might have come across the comment section. Because, man, if those people were real, and those people actually believed that, well, that gave me more of the intention of me to do this show than not the way I'm doing it. To call it out and to be upset and angry about it. Because people are being lied to and fooled. And they're using our people to do it. They're using brown people in a bullshit party that mislead brown people. So, hey, they got nothing above, they'll use black people in a bullshit party to mislead black people. And I guess they use white people in a bullshit party to mislead white people. I don't know. But it's just something about when you're a black person and you're misleading black people. It's just something different about it. Because using our buzzwords, our culture, our pain, our suffering, our degradation, our historic existence in America, full of pain and turmoil, lack of being treated like a human being, using all that shit, taking all of it. There was even one point where she said, in the very beginning of the interview, I think DJ Envy asked her how she got into politics, and Sheila admitted about how when she was a lawyer, and she was, trying cases, she went up against a case, and she realized that there was no chance of real justice happening for people that looked like her. And she felt compelled to get into politics to change the laws. I wonder how she felt when she became a lawmaker to find out you ain't making no damn laws. Lobbyists make the laws. I bet she was pissed off when she found out she ain't nothing but a stenographer for the NRA or for Pfizer. That's all you are. ExxonMobil. Typist. Court reporter. For big corporations. That's what you really are, and you know it. And you'll lie to us, and you'll talk down your nose. You and Amanda Seals, and you and Joy Reid, and you and the other cast of CNN, you and Ali Velsi, whatever his name is. You'll sit up there and act like you are fighting for black people. Meanwhile, you throw us under the bus and perpetuating lies and continuing the lies that are being told by these backstabbing Democratic Party. Meanwhile, pretending that you got into this for the sole purpose of freeing your people. Meanwhile, you helping keep us in chains on the Democratic plantation. That's right, guys. I came up with this grand idea, and I want to enroll it right now. I think it's time. It's high time. It's time past time. It's way past time, y'all. We have no choice, Black America. We must give the Democrats the biggest L in history. We got to give them this L. They need this L. They earned this L. Give them the L. The fact is this, the Democratic Party don't deserve our votes. They don't deserve our support, our votes, our money, our respect, our consideration. I would tell you to tell them to talk to the hand, but you shouldn't even have to raise your hand to tell them. They don't even deserve that much. They don't deserve our sympathy or our pity. Using the orange man to try to scare us. When all else fails, scare them. You know, because you don't want to live under a dictatorship. But living under lies, living under lies and abuse, and being fooled, treated like a fucking moron, treated like idiots, being corralled like sheep, being misled, being played like a CD or a tape cassette is just as bad, don't you think? Maybe you don't think, Representative Crockett. Well, anyway, I came up with some terms we need to use. I searched for a slogan for this movement to cancel the Democratic Party. And I do mean cancel their ass. It's time for us to turn our backs and don't look back. And this ain't Candace Owens saying it either. Candace Owens said it because she was getting money. I'm not getting money. I'm saying it because it's what we got to do. We don't have a choice. Our hands are tied. Man, the Democratic Party is run amok. They're like Letarian. Remember Letarian who stole his grandmother's car? Stole her truck, her new Dodge Durango, and ran into like 5 other cars and totaled it? That's right, the Democratic Party is Letarian Milton. And you got to beat his ass or their ass. You got to. Because they don't have no respect. The Democratic Party is Letarian Milton and you the grandmother. Now what you going to do? Folks, we got to pull the plug. We gotta make them pay for this. They can't be allowed. Now, it's one thing, guys, when they got people like Elizabeth Warren lying to us and Amy Klobuchar and Andrew Yang. But when you take our best and brightest, our youngest, and turn them against us, she was a civil rights lawyer. She a freshman congressperson, and she lied better than Clyburn. That's why I'm saying, folks, we don't stand up now, it's over. It's over. AOC at least tried to pretend for a year or two. This motherfucker came in the first year, and she lying already. I wish my parents loved me as much as Joe Biden loves his son. I wish you loved us, girl. I'm sorry. Esquire, sister, congressperson, I wish you loved your people. As much as Hunter loves coke and hookers and not paying taxes. Here goes my slogans, guys. Let me know which one works. Break up with the Dems. Make up with ourselves. Riding with Biden is not worth the risk. Ditch the Dems. Drink something fresh. The Dems, more harmful than you think. The Democratic Party, their hidden enemy in the black community. Say no to the Democrats. Say yes to life. Vote a Democrat. A habit you can kick. Some of y'all need that, like a 12-step program. Vote for the Democrats. A habit you can kick. Some of y'all really need that shit. Real talk. And my last one, the Democratic Party. Don't drink it, dump it. Look, guys. I'm counting on you to help get the word out. I'm counting on you to carry the message. I laid it out as good as I can lay it out. I mean, I put my foot in this. The Democratic Party is playing us for fools. If you got any self-respect, don't let the fact that Donald Trump's over there, don't let that be a catalyst for you to allow yourself to be played. Have some decency, have some dignity, and realize sometimes alone is better. The Democratic Party, in my estimation, is unfixable. You can't fix this shit. They've been running wild so long. You can't turn a hoe into a housewife. If she want to change, she'll have to change on her own. The Democratic Party talks with its hands. The Democratic Party, it already hit you. It ain't going to stop. It's time for us to stand up, and I'm counting on you to help us do it. My name is Tim Black. It's time to give the Democrats the L. Help me do that. Become a part of this show. We're going a new direction from now on. There will be no punches pulled, and I never pull punches, but for some reason, guys, this hit me a different way. For some reason, it just made it all so clear and so simple. I don't know how many of y'all gonna come with me, but if you think like I do, and if we got anything in common, you'll join me. My name is Tim Black. Go to jointimblack.com. Enough is enough. Enough is enough. All right, guys. I appreciate y'all. BTK, a future balance and reality of the U.S. cannot happen with the existence of the Democratic Party. We're responsible for ourselves and our successes. Folks, the comments in that comment section of people that were fooled by her rhetoric, I can't let it go. I won't let it go. I'm done with the Democrats. I'm done with the Democrats. The Democrats are dead to me as a party. They may have some good people that are stuck in that party, but as an institution, fuck them. I got nothing but love for you. But I will not be played. I hope you join me, y'all. That's it. They say, why did Tim Black go so hard tonight? Why did he call out Representative Jasmine Crockett? Why did he use flirting filth? Why did he do this? Why did he do that? You tell him, because my name is Tim Black and I'm black for real and I love us for real. And you know what? It's a new day.